Yeah, I think, obviously, to me, the only good thing about losing is it reminds you how good winning is. Sometimes if you win a lot, you can forget how good winning is. And so when you go through a stretch like we've gone through, to win is a good feeling. Proud of our guys, for obviously not losing the lead, but not caving when it went into overtime. Because when things and I think Kwanzaa probably feels the same way about his team, not caving and getting back in the game. I think they got to be proud of that for not giving up because they're going through the same thing we are. But because our guys were obviously very disappointed, but they were able to get over it and play well, and make free throws when we needed to.
Just not just that, but being able in key points in overtime to be able to get good shots the way you did and run offense the way you were able to.
Yeah.
How positive a development was that?
Our offense is getting better. It's still not anywhere where I would like it. Our mantra now is you just have to embrace the ugliness. Halftime, the game was ugly. We had 1 point per possession. They were under. They obviously, I think when the game ended, we were over 1 point per, and they were right at it. But our guys are frustrated, missing layups, but we just have to embrace that. We got to be just embrace it and don't let it affect our defense. It's probably the best defensive game we had in a long time, particularly in league. It is for sure, and so it's just the only way we're going to win is if we embrace the ugliness. That's going to be the story of this team, and they've got to be okay with it just being ugly and not pretty. And I'm not used to that either. I'm used to it having a pretty good flow offensively. This team is a little bit different that way, but we're starting to shoot the ball a little bit better. We did make some big shots in big moments, which is it obviously is good for those guys' confidence.
And you talked about the defense, the stretches there in the first half, and then again for a little bit of time there in the second half when you pushed the lead back up to 13. It seemed like your defense was doing what you wanted it to do with the trapping and all that, forcing the turnovers and being able to create points off that.
Yeah, and they, I think you give them some credit. They just went away just from about everything, and went to just spreading us out, driving at us, kicking it, and shooting it. And they made a lot of threes to get themselves back in the game. That's an area where our guys have to recognize what's going on, and they're just trying to get us to help, and we over-helped and left people open for shots. But again, I think you give them some credit for hitting those shots too.
Talking about Drew's game, is it fair to say that the early part of the season, maybe he's chipping some rust off there? We hadn't played in so long, and now we're seeing a more comfortable version of him as he gets into what he is as a player.
Well, we hope so. We hope so. We've expected to this point that he would shoot the ball better than he has, but they fouled him on purpose. And when people do that tells you what they think. I mean, and they're playing the odds. They look at the percentages, and Drew should be a 90% free throw shooter, and he will be as he settles in. I'm not worried about that stuff. But to see him knock down 3 threes today was big. It's big for our team. And, he just needs to let that thing fly.
Jared scoring 30 tonight. Obviously, you wouldn't look for 30 out of him every game, but when we were talking this summer and you looked at his overall package, is this the type of game you thought he could play with his versatility to give people matchup issues?
Yeah, and particularly with him at the 5. He, when we talked this summer, he doesn't want to play the 5. He doesn't want to be seen as a 5. But in reality, he is much more of a mismatch at the 5 for other teams, because most teams' 5s aren't used to having a guard out on the perimeter. You have to guard him out there. And so he actually gets more shots, more jump shots at the 5 than he would at the 4. And but and it's one of those teams that we actually have a size advantage on with those guys, particularly in the post. And so we were able to throw it in, get their big kid in foul trouble. But yeah, Jared, there should be no more arguing about which position he should play. He should feel good about being at the 5, because he's a hard matchup at the 5.
And coming back and seeing this team again on Wednesday night, How much different does it make it when you're going against the same team back-to-back games like this?
It's, you know, I don't know if I've ever done it, other than, you know, when you finish up league play and you turn around and play somebody again. We've done that. But it just in regular league play, I don't think I've ever done that. But you got to play both games. And, you know, I would have preferred, if we're going to do it back-to-back, I'd rather play on the road first and then at home. But, you know, that wasn't the option. And they'll make adjustments, we'll make adjustments. And, you know, they'll be ready to go. Because they know they were in this game, and they'll think that they should have won it. I mean, everybody looks at it and goes, you know, we could have done this, we could have done that. But certainly they'll be confident enough with us going in there to get after us.